Hello everyone, welcome to the very first video of this channel, and today we are going to do a color analysis on Shadowheart. I know she's just a character, but I wanted to do it because, well, she has color in her. I love Baldur's Gate 3. I've recently begun working with color analysis and I think this is going to be a fun experiment. So don't take it too seriously, especially because I'm taking only one screenshot into account, and I know a different one could change everything, or maybe not. Who knows? Because this is meant to be fun and not going through a more thorough process, alright? So if you like Baldur's Gate, color analysis, or both, please hang out with me to the end and don't forget to leave your impressions in the comment section. This is a pilot video and I would love to receive some feedback. Oh, and if you notice any similarity with the channel Color Analysis Studio, yes, they are a huge inspiration for me and I use a lot of what I've learned from them. Without further ado, let's begin. We'll start with a selection of colors designed to assess Shadowheart's undertone to check whether her skin is warm or cool. So first we have a warm red followed by a cooler one, and then we have a comparison between them. I think the warm red looks separated from her, like they don't belong together. She also looks a little grayish there compared to the other. Depending on the screen, she can also appear unnaturally more yellow near the warm red. Both effects are considered negative in this context because they don't look natural. So this first round cool tone won. Next, we have two pastel colors. One is a cool pink and the other more of a peach hue that looks very orangey beside the pink. Once again, the cool toned color won. I think the peach gives her a yellow effect and is also too close to her skin tone, making her lose definition. The pink looks more in harmony with her without losing itself in her complexion. Now we have brown and navy blue. At this point, if you watch Color Analysis Studio, you're sure I've gotten almost all the process from then, and you're right. Anyway, coming back to my analysis, both colors look too dark near her complexion, at least compared to this screenshot I have, though I can still notice that navy blue looks more harmonious. She doesn't look separated as she does near the brown, and I can see a little bit of gray or yellow depending on the screen when she is near the brown. Now we have blue versus rust. Here I'm also inclined to the blue, though I admit both look a bit off in my perception, but blue is better. The rust makes her look considerably more gray. I believe that by now it's quite obvious she has a cool undertone, which means she's whether a winter or a summer girl. It will depend on the intensity of her chromatic characteristics. So now we'll compare a vibrant cool green with a muted one. The second one, more of a sage green, looks much more harmonious combined with her. There is nothing clashing, and this green is not weakening her appearance or dragging her down. Actually, it's brightening her, while the vibrant emerald green is too much. When we look at it, it arrives first, it catches our eyes faster, and harmonious color combinations cannot produce this effect. So we discovered by far she has a cool undertone and blends better with low intensity colors because her overall coloring is more muted. So she belongs to the summer family, and now we need to narrow down which subgroup she belongs to. In case she has one predominant chromatic characteristic such as coolness, softness, or lightness, she will belong to one of these subgroups, and her color spectrum would take part of the summer area and part of another season's area. If she's a so-called true summer, which is a summer person who fits perfectly inside summer chromatic characteristics, she won't be borderline with any other season, which means that in a color spectrum she's full inside the summer territory. So we'll begin with summer cool, the subgroup that has coolness as its main characteristic. First we have another green, which I think is very nice on her. Next we have a summer red. That's a little too intense, but not bad because it is less saturated. Then we have this mauve color that, like the green, also looks beautiful. Next is Summer's navy blue, which I think is very nice, maybe not so ideal as the green and the mauve. And last we have Cool Summer blue that looks good too. The only colors I have some reservations about are the red and the navy blue. Now we have Summer Light, its main characteristic being the lightness. There's a lot of white added to the colors, and we begin with this green that I think it's a little too bright for her. This subgroup is borderline with Spring Light, and spring is an intense color season. Thus, I believe low intensity is an important aspect of her coloring because the light pink also looks a bit too much and we are only perceiving more harmony with the lilac and blue colors, which are naturally a tad more muted. By the way, I love this blue on her. Lastly, we have Summer Soft, the summer subgroup that has the most muted colors inside this season. We begin with this green that matches her skin and eyes gorgeously. Now we have a dusty pink that also looks good. Next we have more of a sand color that works beautifully as a neutral. Then we have a cool and muted brown that doesn't look bad at all. Compared to the other brown from the undertone phase, this one makes her shine without creating a harsh separation between her and the color. And at last we have this greenish gray color that looks great as well. Now that we tested all the subgroups colors, we can already tell which of them works best on her, which was the second best, and what is her predominant chromatic characteristic. But to make the analysis not only more accurate and certain, but also to assess exactly where she is inside the color spectrum, we will test all the borderline seasons of each subgroup to check how these colors look on her. Let's begin with Winter Cool, which is borderline with Summer Cool. As always, we have a green to start with, which I don't think looks bad. It's a bit more intense than recommended, but looks good overall. Next, we have a Winter Red, which is noticeably far too much, along with this Magenta, which is a little less intense than the red, but also too intense for her. Winter's Blue is also too bright, though better than the red and the magenta. And last we have Winter's Navy Blue that doesn't look too intense but looks too dark compared to this screenshot. Now we have Spring Light colors. There are a punch of brightness despite being the lightest subgroup of the spring palette. The intensity is wrong, the temperature as well. There's nothing much to say about this color selection. It's not working very nicely. And finally, we have Autumn Soft, which is borderline with Summer Soft. Despite this green failing to match her cool undertone, it still sits nicely on her and doesn't look bad. Our next color is this light and dusty red that's like a warm version of that summer soft pink. It doesn't look perfect because of the undertone, but it still looks nice. Even this orange, which is a color that doesn't exist in summer palette, doesn't look disastrous because it is highly muted. Next, we have this soft autumn beige that I like very much. Actually, I think this one does look good. And last, we have this mustard, which just like the orange, it's not very suited for summers, but doesn't look too bad on her because of its low intensity. So, considering this screenshot I've got from the character selection, Shadowheart is a summer soft, which means her main chromatic feature is softness, muted coloring, and she's also cool. We noticed she has a tolerance for warm colors as long as they are very muted and not too warm. She also has tolerance for a tad more saturated and bright colors as long as these colors are naturally more to the muted side like blue, purple and cool green. red and colors neighboring red are not so beautiful on her because they're naturally brighter. To finish this video, I love to remember everyone that finding your color palette and your chromatic features, it's not about not being able to wear other colors anymore, but mostly about understanding how colors look on you. When we talk about how harmonic or not a specific color looks on someone, we are taking into consideration only balance between that color and that person. But it's not always what we aim for. Sometimes we do want to create an effect that's contrasting and not fully harmonious. For example, black, it's not in my color palette, but sometimes I like using it to create more of a vampiric look. So truly, it's not about limiting you, though we do use balance as a goal that guides us through the analysis. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it and had some fun. I certainly had. Again, don't take it too seriously. Don't forget to leave your comment, a thumbs up, and also subscribe to this channel if you want more content like this. Bye.